Well, there are vast sums being invested in infrastructure, an estimated £400 billion over the next decade alone. That's no small amount of money. That money is primarily going into water, rail, power generation, investment projects over the next decade, and the economic benefit of those investments, I think, can be made. The issue is where money's not being spent, and it's in areas such as airport capacity would be the best example, and the ones where they have the most tangible economic benefit. That's where we're not seeing the investment, and perhaps over the coming years a greater focus needs to be applied. At the end of the day, it's a myth that governments fund infrastructure on their own. Over half of the 400 billion I referred to is coming from the private sector. Perhaps more could come from the private sector, but it's only going to come if there's political certainty and political goodwill for the funding of and the completion of such projects. The whole saga around airport capacity has been mired in political shenanigans, and we can see the Davis Commission report is not going to be made public until post the next general election. I think that says it all. I think if we could separate infrastructure spend from the political calendar, these infrastructure projects are planned and implemented over a minimum 10, 20-year cycles. The political calendar is 5 years. The two don't work together. So we need a national infrastructure plan that is separate to the political calendar, and where we can see the private sector being guaranteed that if they commit billions of pounds to a plan over that period of time, it's not going to be derailed by political considerations. Continuing where we are, because let's not forget the whole infrastructure debate in this country starts at the very simple premise, with the very simple premise that we have underinvested for decades, probably a century or two, in our infrastructure. So we have to make up for lost time. So water, power generation, we've got to keep the lights on, road, rail, additionally air capacity in the southeast, but not exclusively, perhaps elsewhere in the country as well. Those areas, I think, are well documented. We just need to see more money being spent.